Alright, so 3-star heroes. If we look up on both the subreddit for the game and if you look on the official forum, you will find this. Wait, not that. Get out of the way. That. You will see my VLC playlist for streams. You will see this spreadsheet right here. So this spreadsheet, I'm gonna, as I get feedback, I'm gonna update it. And I actually already got some feedback here regarding the Shield Maidens. I haven't gone in and made that change yet, but I can talk about it here. But I tried to go through, and this has every single 3-star that's in the game right now, as of August 9th, 2017. And I rated them into 5 different categories. You can see on the right here, I have, S are ones that I think would be useful for the entire duration of the game. Even in late game, they'll have some uses for them. Even whenever you're pulling Nat 4s, Nat 5s, you can still find a use for them. The A's, these ones down here, are ones that can have some use, but are also replaced by Nat 4s and some Nat 5s as you get them. The B's are fairly easy to replace, meaning that you're going to eventually pull a Nat 4 that's going to be a better version or provide the same utility, support, heal, or damage that that hero is going to provide a 3-star. C is very easy to replace. Like, you can use it, but chances are you're going to get something better. And D is the useless stuff. It's the stuff that, like I said, you can keep it if you want to keep it just for the looks, right? But anyways, so let's see. I can't drag this. I have my monitor shared over here, so I have to look this way to talk about it. This way is where my camera and my game is. Anyways, so I'll just kind of go through and talk about why the ones are S tiered, and I'll go through the S's and the A's. Below that, again, are things that can be easily replaced. I tried to put notes as to why they're good, but since we're on a stream here, I can go into a little bit more depth. So anyways, we have Cecilia, who is the Shield Maiden, the Fire Shield Maiden. She is ranked S because she has a A1 heal block, and she also has a taunt and a counterattack and a haste buff on A3. So she's got really good buff on her A3 with the haste. She's got built-in counterattack, which is really good, and she's got heal block on her A1, which is really rare. There are no Nat 4s that heal block on A1, so she becomes useful even as you're getting your Nat 4s and stuff, because there's an entire dungeon, the Life Soak dungeon, that you need a heal blocker for, and she fits that role perfectly. You would gear her, I would recommend Witchstone, because she then the heal can't be cleansed, and you can use her in PvP and stuff. If you're only going to use her in PvE, then it doesn't really matter what set you go for. But she needs aim, so aim will increase the chance of that heal block happening on A1. So what I did with mine, which I actually have some of these, so if we go in and we look at my barracks here, then I'll disconnect. So this is the one that I actually use in Life Soak. She's only 5-star, but I put all Sun Shield on her so that she would have block, or this isn't Sun Shield, it's the lower version of it. What's it called? Bright Shield. So Bright Shield on her. So she would have decent blocks, so I could do double aim on her. As you can see, I didn't really focus on her too much because I only use her for PvE. I don't use her for PvP. So she doesn't, she needs to do what she does. If she does it successfully, then you don't need to build her anymore. But I still use her, as you can see. So anyways, going back to the list here, we have Sylvis, who is the Water Minotaur. He has attack bar drains on his first. He has stun on his second. He has team buffs on his third, and he has a leader skill that shields someone if they get too low on life. Great hero. Again, Witchstone is great for him because of those buffs and everything. This is another one that I use for some of the dungeons. So next we have Petra. So I also put these, they're color coded. So you got fire, water, nature, chaos, and then order. So those are the only, there's only one fire and one water that I felt deserved the S tier from the Nat 3s. There's 2 nature ones though. The first is Petra, which Petra is probably the best Nat 3 in the game. You saw me using him in stage 7 of the dungeon that just came out. You know what I'm saying? So he's really strong. The reason he's really strong is because his A1 does really good damage and his scale off his HP, and he can stun. His A2 heals himself, so he supports himself. His A3 does a shield that supports the entire team based off of his HP. So you stack as much HP as possible, and he's golden. And then he also has, on top of all that, like the cherry on top, is his leader skill of increased XP. So he's got like everything you could possibly want in a farmer, a bruiser. You know, he's a perfectly well-rounded hero, and he's a Nat 3. So he is, in my opinion, the best Nat 3, and you know, definitely the one that you want to hold on to. And then we have Wingnut. Wingnut is the nature ringtail. This is a new addition. He would be down there with the other ones, which I think are like, where did I put them? I think I put them in like B tier. Maybe I put them in like C tier. Anyways, the other Wingnuts are not nearly as good, right? The reason he's good is because his abilities scale off of aim, and his artifact increases his base aim by 100%. So you combine those 2 things together, and he can hit really, really hard. And that's why I recommend using War Tech on him, is because you want his A3, which is an AoE, to hit as hard as possible. Alright, so now we got the Chaos S tier Nat 3s. Pisces, which is the Chaos Fairy. You guys have seen me use her a good bit. She heals every time she hits, and she has a multi-hit. So put her on Swift Steal, she's doing multiple multi-hits. Good healing, good damage, and has an AoE sleep. Great hero. The next one is again, recently got buffed. The Delta, which is the Chaos Hellhound, or not Hellhound, Rust Hound. So the Rust Hound, they all have a guard sort of thing where, you know, whenever someone they're guarding attacks, they take damage. And they also have this ability that whenever an ally attacks, they have a chance to attack as well. Well, the Order one, here, let me go back to the game. So if we pull up and we look at the Order in Rust Hound. So his A1 has a chance to call a random ally to attack with him. So if you combine him with other units that also have sort of co-attack abilities, you can get this guy with Swift Steal as well. You can get like multiple people from your team just attacking non-stop. There was actually in our last Alliance War, someone from Finalizing Load had a team that was, it was the Chaos Hammer guy. Where is he? Let's see, the Nat 5, the defense based on this guy. So it was Breaker and 3 Deltas, and it was a sick team. I tried to fight it and just got wiped because this guy also guards, and whenever the guarding target gets attacked, he has a chance to attack or something like that. So they were just all attacking non-stop because of them guarding each other and getting chances to team attack on me. It was ridiculous. So he's pretty good whenever you synergize him in that sort of environment. That's why I tried to make a note out there that it synergizes with guard plus team attack comps. So next is, let's see, Night Stalker, who is the Chaos Sabertooth. I also have the Order Sabertooth. I moved him to A. So the Sabertooths have great dot output because they all do dots on their A1, so you want to run Swift Steal for that fact. The Chaos one is ranked S because not only does he stealth himself when he gets hit, which helps mitigate damage, but he also self-revives. So if he does somehow take fatal damage, he just comes back into the fight. That combined with his stealthing means there's a good chance his cooldown on the self-revive is going to come back up before he gets fatal damage again. So that kind of puts him above the other Sabertooths, and he's just in general a really good dotter. That's why he's S in PvP. I also tried to rank them in PvE versus PvP. So PvE is dungeons and stuff like that. PvP is obviously PvP. So Sabertooth, the Chaos one, is, you know, he's really good for dungeons. he's decent, especially he's good early, but even later he's kind of decent in PvP, not as good as he is dungeons. Going on to the Order heroes. Marigold, you guys have seen me use her a lot. She has invincibility and she has great healing output. I'd recommend Life Silk on her. A Gate is the Stone Giant. It's very similar to Petra, except instead of an A3 team shield, he has an A3 damage ability, and his A1 ignores defense. So it does more damage than Petra would. So it's basically the same attack, but ignores a portion of the enemy's defense as well. So I took a note, higher damage dealer on A1 Petra. So that's why he's up here. And then we have Spike, who is the Order Nomad. So most of the Nomads have an ability where they guard someone and they have like a multi-attack A1. But then they have like other abilities that sort of help heal themselves and do stuff like that. This one has an extra ability that cleanses the target with each hit of his A1. His A1 already hits 4 times. You Swift Steal proc gets 8 times, and yes, Swift Steal can proc whenever they do the revenge. So you have someone that's taunting, you put that revenge buff on the guy that's taunting, and suddenly every time they take damage, you're hitting them 4 to 8 times, and you're removing a buff with each one of those hits, or chance to remove a buff. So that's why he's ranked S, is because he can do lots of attacks, do really pretty good damage for a Nat 3, and completely strip buffs from people left and right. And then the last one is Alessa, who is the Shield Maiden. So on this list, I said Ironclaw because if you look at their A1, the A1 on some Shield Maidens like Alessa has a chance to heal her, and healing herself is kind of nice. But someone on the forums, so let me see who it was so I can give them credit. Draybon here on the forums brought up the fact that they have built-in counterattack whenever they taunt, and whenever they're not taunting, who cares if they counterattack or not, because they're probably not going to get focused. So really, I would change that to Swift Steal so that they're using their A1. You want as much A1s as possible, and since Ironclaw doesn't get you that, Swift Steal would. Ironclaw would give you no benefit because they already have counterattack built in. So change that to Swift Steal, and there you go. But the reason she's ranked S tier is because of her revive. Her revive does 75% of her current life, not the target's life. So if any DPS unit dies, chances are their total life pool is less than 75% of her life pool, so they're going to come back at full life, which is really good. It gets beat out by some of the Nat 4s that like revive with invulnerability or invincibility, but it's hard to replace. I've seen her used quite a bit in high-end arena, like Master 2 and 3 arena, so she's definitely a good hero. So yeah, those are all the S ranked ones, and then the A ones, we have all the rest of the Sabertooths, the fire, the water, the nature, and the order one. I'm going to talk about all of them at the same time because they're all the same pretty much. They all use Swift Steal, they all do dots on their A1, they all stealth. The only difference is what their A3 does, and if you look at the notes here, I put what their A3 does. There's a mark, a single target mark, a reduced attack bar, a slow, and then the order one does an AoE clip. So there you go. They're all good, but you build them the same way and use them the same way. They're used to do dots. They would be replaced by the Samurai Cats if you were to get one of those. Specifically, Mido, the Nature Samurai Cat, because he does an AoE dot. Even then, though, if you were doing like Path of the Ancients and you wanted another dot-based damage dealer and you already used your Mido for one of the other things, you could very well use one of these, and that's what I do with mine still. I have a Sunslash. So anyways, and then we got Bubbles, who's the Water Alchemist. He's up here in the A category because he's immune to sleep, and whenever your team is slept and he goes, he removes their sleep as well. So he basically negates the entire concept of sleep as a mechanic you have to deal with. If you don't have to deal with that, and he has some decent buffs he puts out as well. And he's unique. He's the only character in the game that does that. So if you're going up against sleep teams in the arena, then he is a great counter for that. As you can see, I put him as a C for PvE because you really don't come up against sleep that often in PvE. But in PvP is why he deserves this A slot and not down with the other alchemists. So then we have Lily. She's a pretty solid healer, and she's easy to obtain because she's one of the first rewards you unlock in the Alliance shop. So she's a good intro healer. She does decent healing output. I would put Life Soak on her. The downside is, I think I just had a subscriber or something, but I don't see it for some reason. Oh, it's because this thing's blocking it. Oh, it just went away. Well, thank you for subscribing, following. Whoever just did. Sorry I missed it because this thing was in the way. Anyways, so yeah, Lily, good starting healer. She's going to get replaced eventually by, you know, the Nat 4 healers and everything like that. But she is a really good starting healer. And you can use her and stuff like in Path of the Ancients. I still pull mine out occasionally if I need a healer and don't have anything else. Then, let's see, I'm going to skip the Saber-Tooth. We talked about them. The Nature Minotaur. A lot of people overlook the Nature Minotaur because they don't look at his skills. He has an AoE attack bar reduction and an AoE team attack bar boost on his A3. And it's a guaranteed chance. Let me just show that real fast. A lot of people were surprised when they look at this because they just kind of overlooked him. Look at his A3. Reduces all enemies' attack bar by 50% and fills up yours by 20%. This can be increased to a 60% drain. So put that on Witchstone, and that's like a 90% speed bar drain and a 30% speed bar buff on a 5-turn cooldown. Like, that's really good for a Nat 3 hero. So a lot of people kind of sleep on him, but he shouldn't be forgotten. And that's why he is up here in the A category. Next we have Ranger, the Walker, the Nature Ranger. I put her here because she actually does, you know, pretty decent damage for a Nat 3. She's single target, but her A3 can ignore, I think it ignores 25% defense and guaranteed crit whenever the target is marked, and her A2 is a mark. So you use her A2 and then you use the A3 as sort of a finisher. I would put her on either Swift Steel or Wartech. Wartech would give you stronger hits, Swift Steel would give you more hits. For her, with her A3, I would probably use Wartech. And then we have, let's see, the Saber-Tooth again, and then we have Scorn, right? He's the Chaos Alchemist. He has just some pretty good buffs. If you look here, let's look at Scorn. So he is, I have not pulled one of him. Nope, that's the Ringtail. They look kind of similar. There he is. So if you look at what buffs he can put out to your team, he can give them debuff immunity, stealth, heal, and heal buff. And he gives them, guaranteed he gives them haste. So put him on Witchstone, and he's a pretty good support hero for a 3-star. Again, you have to, this is an A, so it means it can, you know, there are going to be heroes you replace them with. You know, some of the bards probably would replace this if you're just looking for a team buffer. And he's not, you know, he's nothing that you would keep for a really long time, but he's something that you would hold around in 5-star, and you probably get some decent use out of. Anyway, so back to the list. Onyx, who is the Chaos Stone Giant. Oh, whoops. There we go. Alright, so here we are. So he has an AoE Confuse, which is really good in PvP, which is why he's sort of ranked higher in PvP than he is PvE. But he doesn't have a heal and he doesn't have a shield. So he sort of lacks that extra little bit of self-sustain that really helps Petra and Agate. But that being said, he still hits hard and he still has a really good A3 ability in that AoE Confuse. Next we have Merciless Jing, who is the Chaos Monk. He ranks really good in PvE, and especially in Trials, or not Trials, Coda, because he extends debuffs with his A3. So if you stun the enemy, you use his A3 and it extends that stun. If you sleep them, mark them, while you sleep them, will wake them up. But any of the debuffs, you can continually extend them with his A3. So that's why he's up here in the A category. The Dark Shield Maiden, she's similar to Celia in that she has a heal buff on her A1, but she does not have the haste buff. Instead, she has a weird heal everyone, but also give them a dot. So I don't think she's as good as Celia, but she can still give you that A1 heal block. So that's why she's in the A category and not lower with some of the other shield maidens like Isabel down here. And then we have Shadow Young, who's a free blade. So all the free blades are kind of in the B category except for Shadow Young. And really I did that just because Shadow Young does a little bit better damage output due to his elemental neutrality. You know, he's not weak or strong to any element except for order, obviously. So he does a little bit better damage and tends to have a little bit better survivability because he doesn't get directly targeted. It's easier to tank for and stuff. But most of the free blades are going to get replaced by Oath Bows. Oath Bows are almost a direct upgrade to the free blades. That being said, they can still wreck. They can still do some great damage. Put them on Swift Steel, and with the artifact, they can just keep going and going on their A1. Then we have Spanner, who is the only bomber, the only 3-star bomber out there. And with his increased aim from the artifact, you really don't need much aim on him to make sure the bombs land. I would say, you know, Witchstone if you want the bombs to stun, or just as much power as you can if you want the bombs to kill. He also has an AoE blind leader skill, which starts off the enemy team blinded, which is really good for, like, you know, a speed comp. Yeah, so you can even use him in the arena to sort of neuter the AoE debuff speed teams. And then we have Sunslash, which again we talked about them. So that is all of the S's and the A's. Again, these are all the, you know, S's I would definitely keep, and those are worth building and possibly worth 6-starring. The A's are worth keeping and, you know, put at least 5-starring and putting some decent gear on. Everything below that is sort of use at your discretion based off of what you need, but you'll be looking for something to replace that, to upgrade that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions about the tier list, feel free to hit me up here at the top. I talked about, you know, go to Reddit, go to the forums, or just send me an email at jc.gaming@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to make some updates. You know, assuming, you know, I'll be glad to consider your input. If it's ridiculous, I'm gonna tell you it's ridiculous. But anyway, so yeah, that's that, and it's up there. So hopefully newer players find that pretty useful. Alright, now let me get caught up on Twitch chat. Let's see. So Extreme is talking about contribute Alliance XP achievements into the work, right? Yeah, it is the number of times you contribute, not the amount that you contribute. They want you to spend gems, Extreme. That's what it is, really. They're like, you know, there is no limit. Yeah, I think there's. Oh, what if it was Witchstone? Yeah, I actually get worse gear out of these than I do just from running stage 6. I barely even run these unless they're gold, or the core ones. Occasionally I'll run the ones that give you Evo Wisps. But anyways, yeah, so if you look at donating to the Alliance, so you get the free one, you get 5 of these per day. You get 5 of these per day, so that's what, 5, 20, yeah, 25? No, 10. So you can do 10 free per day. I'm just going to do these. I'm actually saving up for Lion, so I'm not going to do that one. So they want you to kind of spend gems to get, you know, the bottom one, which that didn't even do anything. Let's see, where is the contribute to your Alliance thing? I thought it was here. See, it is definitely contribute gems to your Alliance too. Oh, it's under, so there's one under Lost Dungeon. So this one specifically says gem. Let's see what this one says. I guess it is total XP to get 15 greater shadow essences. Yeah, 250 is, but it's a month, so it's a month long. If you did 10 per day for 30 days, you know, it's 300. So they're kind of like, you have to use, not only do you have to use your gold, but you have to use the conquest and do that. You know, if you did that every day, then you'd be able to do it. You'd be able to hit 300 in 30 days. So, and you can do 10x per days. And it is a huge, I agree, that's kind of, you have to sacrifice, was that 250 conquests every day? That kind of sucks if you're saving up for like Laguna shards, which are 5,000 like I am. You gotta kind of judge if it's worth it or not. Oh, and can you, let's see if you can fuse up and down. So you can fuse up and down the essences too, so it would be nice if they lowered that a little bit. So at least you could, if you donate gold to your guild or to your alliance every day, you should be able to get that. So you get 20 for that. And you know, they did this one. You spend keys 300, which is 10 keys a day. Spend 10 keys a day for a month, and you get greater shadow essences. And it's temple, so it's any keys. You don't even have to spend the keys in the lost dungeon. So I think this one's really easy to do in the month. You get 20 for that, and you only get 15 for that. It'll be interesting to see what this is. And you gotta remember, this is the first month they threw this out there, so I'm sure these numbers are gonna get tweaked once they get the percentage of people that are actually able to achieve this. And believe me, if it gets down to the end of the month and I'm having a problem achieving this, I'm a pretty active player. I'll voice my opinion. Oh wait, I forgot, we're still on the Nat 3 video, so let me end that so I can upload it and it's not as long. See you, Nat 3 guys.